What's up everyone and welcome back to MMA Talk. Just 10 days after his dominant victory over Corey Sandhagen at UFC 320, Merab Dvalishvili has wasted no time getting back to work. The Georgian powerhouse, known for his relentless pace and work ethic, has already returned to full training, and not just for light drills or conditioning. Remarkably, he's jumped straight into sparring, proving once again why he's considered one of the hardest workers in the entire UFC roster. After his impressive performance at UFC 320, where he showcased world-class wrestling, cardio, and pressure to secure another statement win, many expected Merab to take some well-deserved time off. Fighters often rest and recover after such high-intensity bouts, especially when competing against top-ranked opponents like Sandhagen. But that's not the Dvalishvili way. For him, the grind never stops. In a recent video shared on social media, Merab appeared in the gym, fully geared up and already mixing it up in sparring sessions. With his trademark energy and confidence, he shouted to the camera, "I'm back, mother. Let's go. December 6th, Peter, come to us, and I'm waiting for you." The message was loud and clear. Merab has his sights set on Petr Yan, the former UFC bantamweight champion. This call-out isn't random. Merab and Yan have had tension brewing for quite some time, with fans long anticipating a potential clash between the two. The stylistic matchup is one of the most exciting in the division. Merab's suffocating pace and relentless grappling against Yan's elite striking and counterpunching ability. If this fight comes to fruition, it could easily headline a major UFC event and determine the next title challenger at bantamweight. What makes Merab's quick return to sparring even more impressive is the physical and mental toughness required to do so. Fighters typically sustain bruises, cuts, and general wear from their bouts. Yet, Merab seems unaffected, a testament to his conditioning and resilience. His discipline and love for the sport have made him a fan favorite and earned him respect from peers across the MMA world. In interviews following UFC 320, Merab emphasized his desire to stay active and continue improving. He mentioned that his ultimate goal remains the same, to become the UFC bantamweight champion and represent his home country of Georgia at the highest level. Training just days after a big win reflects his mindset. There are no breaks on the road to greatness. As the MMA community reacts to his return, many are amazed but not surprised. This is Merab Dvalishvili, the Machine. His nickname perfectly captures who he is, a tireless competitor, a grinder, and one of the most determined athletes in the sport. If the December 6th fight against Petr Yan becomes official, fans can expect fireworks. Merab is clearly ready to go, and his message leaves no doubt. He's not just back in the gym, he's ready for war. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. During a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, rising UFC welterweight contender Garry didn't hold back when discussing former champion Leon Edwards. Known for his confidence and outspoken personality, Garry delivered a fiery take that sent shockwaves through the MMA community, questioning Edwards' future in the sport and expressing disbelief that the Birmingham native even accepted his next fight. Garry began by bluntly stating that he sees no path to victory for Leon Edwards in his upcoming matchup against Carlos Bratz, whom Garry described as a dangerous and dynamic striker. According to Garry, Edwards is far past his prime and should seriously consider retirement. "I think Leon's done," Garry declared firmly. "I've been saying this for a long time, my friend. I think he should retire, and we might see that happen soon." The Irish star didn't mince words when expressing his surprise at Edwards' decision to step back into the octagon. "I'm shocked he took the fight in the first place," Garry said. "He's been shouting and screaming for years about wanting to face a striker, and now that he's got one in front of him, I think he's going to get absolutely punched around." Garry's comments reflect both his confidence in Bratz's abilities and his belief that Edwards' time at the top has passed. Edwards, who once reigned as the UFC welterweight champion after defeating Kamaru Usman, has since faced setbacks and criticism regarding his recent performances. However, Garry's remarks went far beyond typical fight promotion. They carried a personal tone that showed clear disdain for the former champ. When asked if he would be disappointed to never share the octagon with Edwards, Garry's answer was as cold as it was calculated. "No, it doesn't bother me," he said. "I have no interest in ever letting him earn money off my name or my hard work. I'm the more exciting, marketable fighter, and there's no reason he should get any kind of financial benefit from that." Garry continued, emphasizing that his issue wasn't just competitive, it was about principle. "If Leon was willing to fight me for all or nothing, I'd do it in a heartbeat," he said with conviction. "Because I'd make sure he'd leave that cage absolutely unconscious and walk away with nothing. No fame, no money, no respect, nothing." The comments instantly went viral, sparking debates across social media about whether Garry had gone too far. While some fans applauded his confidence and entertainment value, others criticized him for showing a lack of respect toward one of the division's most accomplished fighters. For Garry, however, it's all part of the game. He has made it clear that his goal is not only to rise to the top of the welterweight division but also to bring energy and authenticity to the sport. His trash talk, while controversial, keeps him in headlines, and that seems to be exactly how he wants it. Whether Leon Edwards chooses chooses to respond or ignore the callouts remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Garry has positioned himself as one of the most outspoken and polarizing figures in modern MMA. His confidence, talent, and willingness to stir the pot ensure that every word he speaks makes waves in the fight world. Move on to another news. During a recent Dana White's Contender Series (DWCS) press conference, UFC CEO Dana White shared some exciting updates about the promotion's future, including the highly anticipated debut on Paramount and potential blockbuster matchups involving Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, and Max Holloway. White confirmed that the UFC is already deep into planning for its first-ever event on its new broadcast partner, Paramount. The move marks the beginning of a new era for the organization, and fans are eager to see which fighters will help usher it in. With several major stars currently sidelined or inactive, speculation has been mounting that Ilia Topuria, the undefeated lightweight champion, could headline the historic card. When asked directly about the possibility, White neither confirmed nor denied it, but his response left fans buzzing. "We literally had matchmaking today," White revealed. "We started working on the first Paramount card today." A reporter followed up by asking if there was a chance that Ilia Topuria could be part of that lineup, given his rising star power and recent dominance in the cage. White smiled and simply replied, "It's a possibility." That short answer was enough to fuel excitement across the MMA community. Topuria, who captured the lightweight title in spectacular fashion earlier this year, has quickly become one of the UFC's most marketable and exciting champions. His combination of charisma, knockout power, and undefeated record makes him the perfect face for the UFC's new partnership with Paramount. If the debut card does feature Topuria in the main event, it could serve as a massive statement, showcasing the next generation of UFC superstars. But Topuria wasn't the only topic Dana White touched on during the press conference. The UFC boss also addressed Charles Oliveira's stunning recent performance against Mateusz Gamrot and the possibility of a high-profile fight with Max Holloway for the BMF Baddest Mother title. Oliveira, fresh off a dominant win, called out Holloway immediately after his victory, expressing interest in what would be one of the most fan-friendly matchups imaginable. When asked about Oliveira's callout, White praised the former lightweight champion's performance and acknowledged that the idea of Oliveira versus Holloway is generating a lot of excitement. "That's obviously a fight that would be incredible to see," White said. "We talked about it today." While he stopped short of officially announcing the matchup, White's comments confirmed that the UFC is at least entertaining the idea. A potential Oliveira versus Holloway clash would pit two of the most skilled and exciting fighters in the sport against each other: Oliveira's slick jiu-jitsu and improved striking versus Holloway's elite boxing and relentless pace. With Ilia Topuria potentially headlining the UFC's Paramount debut in a dream fight between Oliveira and Holloway under discussion, the UFC's future looks brighter than ever. Dana White's remarks suggest that the promotion is entering a major transitional period, one that will highlight a new wave of talent while continuing to deliver the kind of thrilling matchups fans crave. Whether or not Topuria headlines the first Paramount event, one thing is clear: the UFC is preparing to kick off this new era with fireworks, and Dana White is making sure it starts with a bang. Move on to another news. UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev recently had a memorable encounter that left even the dominant fighter in awe. During a recent event appearance, Makhachev met Abayadan Adegoke, the towering Nigerian basketball player who stands at an astonishing 7 feet 11 inches tall, making him one of the tallest athletes in the world. The meeting quickly went viral as fans were stunned to see the massive height difference between the two athletes. Makhachev, known for his composure inside the octagon, looked genuinely amazed as he stood beside Adegoke. The footage captured the moment the UFC champion craned his neck just to make eye contact with the Nigerian giant. Smiling and laughing, Makhachev could hardly believe the sheer scale of the basketball star in front of him. "Big guy," he said with a grin, clearly impressed. "You can find 5 people, bro." The lighthearted comment drew laughter from those around, perfectly encapsulating Makhachev's amazement at meeting someone nearly 2 feet taller than him. Adegoke, often referred to as the Nigerian giant, has gained global attention for his extraordinary height and potential to become a professional basketball sensation. Standing at 7 feet 11 inches, he towers over even NBA legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Yao Ming. The contrast between his immense stature and Makhachev's compact, powerful build highlighted the diversity of athletic physiques across different sports. Fans immediately flooded social media with reactions to the meeting, with many joking that Makhachev had finally met someone he couldn't take down. Memes circulated online showing exaggerated face-offs between the two, and MMA followers playfully suggested that Adegoke could be the only person in the world with the reach advantage against the UFC lightweight champion. For Makhachev, the meeting was another reminder of the global reach of his fame. The Dagestani fighter, who has dominated the lightweight division with his relentless wrestling and improving striking, is used to being the center of attention in the MMA world. However, standing next to Adegoke made even the UFC champion feel small for once, a rare sight for fans used to seeing him overpower opponents inside the cage. Observers also noted the mutual respect and friendly atmosphere between the two athletes. Despite coming from vastly different sports sporting backgrounds, both men share traits that define elite competitors: discipline, hard work, and international recognition. Their interactions symbolize the unity of sports, where athletes from different disciplines can appreciate each other's physical gifts and dedication. While the encounter was brief, it quickly became one of the most talked about viral moments in recent weeks. Clips of Makhachev standing beside Adagok racked up millions of views across social media platforms, with fans expressing disbelief at the visual difference in height. For Islam Makhachev, who's preparing for his next title defense, the meeting provided a lighthearted break from his intense training schedule, and for Abayat and Adagok, it was another moment of global exposure, further boosting his rising profile in the basketball world. The moment, captured between the UFC's most dominant lightweight and the world's tallest basketball player, perfectly showcased the awe and humor that happens when two worlds of sport collide, one built on grappling and precision, the other on height and reach. Move on to another news. UFC veteran Matt Brown has never been one to hold back his opinions, and his latest comments have reignited controversy over the UFC's new anti-doping program. Following the organization's split with USADA, the United States Anti-Doping Agency, the UFC launched a new testing system run by CSAD, an agency that, unlike USADA, is funded entirely by the UFC itself. While the promotion insists the program remains independent under the leadership of former FBI agent George Pirro, Brown is far from convinced. Speaking on the Fighter vs. the Writer podcast, Brown questioned both the transparency and the integrity of the new arrangement, particularly in light of Conor McGregor's recent 18-month suspension, which many fans already viewed with skepticism. According to Brown, the structure of the new system gives the UFC far too much power and creates a dangerous conflict of interest. The UFC controls the doping now, Brown said bluntly. Who's to say they're not letting certain people dope and just not saying anything? They could absolutely be doing that, and nobody outside the organization would even know. Whether they actually are or not almost doesn't matter. The point is, they can, and that power alone is the problem. Brown's comments tap into a growing concern among fighters and fans that the UFC's decision to end its partnership with USADA was motivated less by efficiency and more by control. Under USADA, the anti-doping process was fully independent, meaning the UFC had no say in when, how, or whom the agency tested. But now, with CSAD operating under UFC funding, critics like Brown fear the potential for selective enforcement, especially when it comes to the promotion's biggest stars. I don't know what it's going to take for fighters to step up, Brown continued. Maybe it's not even possible, but at some point, someone's got to say, yo, this is some bullshit. He went on to paint a hypothetical, yet very plausible, scenario. Let's say the UFC is putting on a massive event, like that rumored White House card next year, and Conor McGregor fails a test the week before. What do you think they're going to do? You really think they'll announce that and pull him out of the main event? Or if it's John Jones or Alex Pereira, and both of them test positive before fight week, are they really going to cancel the entire card? No chance. Brown suggested that this kind of conflict of interest may have been the real reason the UFC parted ways with USADA in the first place. You've got to think that's why they got rid of USADA, he said. They wanted the control. His words reflect a long-standing concern among athletes about fairness, transparency, and accountability in combat sports. The UFC's new CSAD-led program was promoted as an improvement, one that would modernize testing and make it more efficient, but fighters like Brown see it as a step backward, potentially opening the door for favoritism and corruption. As of now, neither the UFC nor CSAD has publicly responded to Brown's comments. However, his statements have sparked widespread debate in the MMA community about whether the UFC's new system can truly be trusted, or if, as Brown fears, the organization has simply traded oversight for influence.